So we've learned something important here, and that's during the shift movement is a key element. All right. What if I were to say to you, what would you like? If I could give you any dice with any dots, what would you want on there? Sixes. Yeah. So we'd have dice that look like this. And
we would like that everybody works at the same speed.
Everybody works six, everybody rolls six at the end of the month. After working 20 days, we would end up with 120. Now, customer only wants how many? 7. Okay, so we'd be plus 50. So the next month we work again, how many would we be over then? We'd be over another 50. So we'd have 100 excess in stock, right? Nobody would have to work the third month. So do we really want 6 on the dice? Okay, we don't. What would we want on there? 3, 4, 5. Keep in mind that if I were to do a run chart, which is very, very common in Six Sigma and Lean, if I were to do the run chart, this is what it would look like, wouldn't it? One roll of 1, the next roll of 6, 3, 4, 6, 1, right? You'd see all these rolls as you roll through the month. If I were to say to you that the best you can have is a 6, the worst that you could have is a 1, what would you say about the variation? It's too much. The variation is causing some of the problems we're having in our system. So if I were to reduce the variation, what could I say about our system? If I reduce the variation in our system, what would happen? Smoother. It'd run smoother. If I took the 6 away and made it a 5, and I took the 1 away and put it as a 2, our variation would be right in there. It's the 1s and the 6s that give us the problem in our system. We want things to work smoother, not have this up and down. Everybody with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, given that, if I could pick up your dice, please. I have some special dice. But you got to promise not to go to the casino with these. If you do, don't mention my name. Take one. Okay, I took the 1s and the 6s off, and I put an extra 3 and 4 on. Now, will this change the average of the dice?
Yes.
Will it change the average of the dice? The average will be the same. The variation will be reduced. And now we're going to get to see what happens when we reduce variation. So that's really the key element in Six Sigma, is reducing variation. That's the key element. And we're going to see what it does. But first of all, let me take you back to, do you remember our 4 operations? Operation A, B, C, and D, right? Everybody said it was D?
Yes.
Okay. We try to identify bottlenecks by going out and looking at numbers. And we don't really have enough information, but we think we do. We go out and go, well, this person only did 12 orders that day. They got to be the bottleneck. Well, that may in fact not be accurate. If we look at it over a period of time, if we look at this over like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10, 11, we can see what about our process? What's happening to our operations and our process?
They have a lot of variation.
They're varying, right?
Yes.
There's some variation in here. Okay, if I did this, if I look at it in this light, and I said at 8 a.m., at 9 a.m., at 10 a.m., at 10 a.m., where's the bottleneck? A, right. At 10 a.m., A is the bottleneck. At noon, where's the bottleneck? D.
D.
Okay. At 2, where's the bottleneck?
B.
B. Correct. Now, what does this tell us? What does it tell us? What's that?
That C is the best.
We need to balance out
Right on the money. Right on the money. That's exactly right. We need to balance it out. But what it's telling us, not only to balance it, which is an extremely important thing, it's telling us that the bottleneck moves from operation to operation during the course of a day, doesn't it? Isn't this the way real life works? You know, at 10 a.m. it may be this, at noon it may be that. Somebody's computer may be broke down. Somebody may get a headache. All of a sudden, these things start to transpire, correct? Am I right or am I wrong?
Right.
God, I love this job. Okay, that's what happens is bottlenecks move through a system. They move. A true bottleneck will be identified by consistent, large amounts of inventory before that operation. Over long periods of time, you'll see large amounts of inventory sitting there. That's a true bottleneck. And that's how you identify it. Okay. So what we've done is we've reduced our variation, and we're going to run a module with a reduced variation, and we're going to say what will happen. Now, I'm cutting 7 out because 7 takes us back to material movement at the end of the shift, and I don't think we want to go back. So we're going to leave 7 out, but we're going to move to 8. 8 is a batch of 1, starting inventory of 4. It's during the shift. You can wait and make rolls up, and it's with less variation dice, less variable dice. If we compare 8 to 6, because the only thing different here between 8 and 6 is what?
Less variability.
Is the dice. If we say 8 to 6, what's going to happen to our throughput? It's going to be pretty hard to beat 67. What's going to happen to our inventory? What? Down. Unit cost? Okay. Now, I'm not going to charge you for the dice. Why wouldn't I charge you for these dice? Because it's already stuff that's in process. I'm just reducing the variation. I haven't changed anything but the variation. Right? And how do I reduce variation? I use all the Six Sigma tools. I measure a process. I look at the parts of a process. I do the brainstorming. I do all these different things that will, in fact, reduce my variation. Okay. Keep 4. You got 4 chips? Everybody got 4? Okay. Let's go ahead and roll it. Let's see what happens. Let's roll day 1. Use red. Okay. Roll day 2. Now, you cannot reduce variation without doing Six Sigma. It won't happen. It won't happen. I mean, you may get a temporary reduction. Long term, not going to happen. You have to do Six Sigma. You have to do lean. You have to look at the processes. And that's the only way you can reduce the variation. Okay. Roll 3. You got to admit those are kind of definitive statements, aren't they? Kind of like okay. Roll 4. Okay, roll 5. Okay, so one other thing that I'll point out to you is we're actually now starting to combine some strategies. Before the first 4 modules, we kept the strategies separate, one at a time. Now look at what we've got here. We've reduced the batch size, we've reduced the variation, and we have doing the shift movement. So we're starting to combine different strategies to see how they'll work out. All right, let's roll day 6. Roll 7. Okay. Roll 8. Roll 9. Okay, and 10. Okay, we're halfway through the month. What do we have, Sergio?
2.
How much?
2.
I'm 32.
3.
30. Okay. I can't hear on this side of the room because of the air conditioner. So, okay, let's roll day 11. Okay, 12. Okay, got to keep one. I keep one chip. It's work. It represents work in process. It represents work you're doing consistently during the course of the day until the next batches come. Okay, roll 13. Okay, roll 14. Okay, roll 15. Sixteen. 17. 18. 19. 20. Okay, what do we have in the warehouse? 68. $290. Everybody worked? And what do we have in the inventory? 3, 4, 13, 17, 22, 30, 25, 29, 33, 35.
$597.
500.
597.
570.
507.
507.
597.
597.
8.78.
Wow, look at that. Here's our forecast.
And the lead time?
We didn't.
We forgot it.
We didn't.
30.
30.
I can tell you, it's going to be around 10 days.
I thought it was 11.
Yeah, okay.
Because when we have check at the middle, we doesn't have the red one.
Yeah.
30 days.
Okay, so
30.
look at the inventory on the table. It's very low.
Yes.
It's because of the lowered variation.
We have to change it.
If you try to do something with inventory with a high variation, you're going to hurt yourself pretty badly if you don't look at the variation first. So our inventory's gone down. We've gotten 68 parts through, which is very, very good. Our unit cost is at 8.78. It's the lowest it's been so far today. So we can say by starting to combine strategies, we're actually getting ahead of the game now. We're actually starting to make some profit. We're starting to feel a little more secure about our system and process and that. And we're going to get even more so, but as we look at this 8.78, that's a pretty remarkable number. And that's what we can promise organizations that do Six Sigma, is we can promise them you have an increased profit potential if you do things in the right order, using the right tools at the right time. And that's what Six Sigma does for you. That's what Lean does for you.